Phase 1. The original economy. Imagine an isolated economic model nestled entirely within a remote tropical island. Our test subjects for today, an exceptionally intelligent tribe of monkeys. In this ecosystem, every individual must produce value to maintain their survival. And just like humans, these primates established a designated trading ground, the marketplace. To streamline transactions, they adopted a universal medium of exchange, the banana. One single banana became the benchmark price for a coconut or potatoes. Congratulations, Monkey Island just officially inaugurated its very first currency system. Why bananas? Simply because they were limited and required genuine effort to harvest. This natural scarcity instantly secured the intrinsic value of their circulating currency. Idle consumption was impossible. To build wealth, physical labor was strictly mandatory. Consequently, the market maintained a flawless equilibrium between supply and demand. No sudden crashes, no debt crises, a textbook definition of economic stability. The true value of an individual's labor was perfectly preserved over time. The purchasing power of a banana today remained identical to its value tomorrow, but central planners always crave convenience. And that is where the flaw begins. Phase 2. Leaves become money. One afternoon, the old monkey chief, the island's macro manager, spotted a critical problem. Bananas are highly perishable and bulky, making long-term capital accumulation impossible. A grand innovation sparked, promising to fully optimize their trade velocity. He decided to separate utility from the physical token representing value. The solution was lightweight, durable, and highly portable. Standard green forest leaves. A brand new fiat monetary decree was instantly passed down to the citizens. From this day forth, this leaf is legal tender, fully backed by my authority. The mechanism was simple. Hand over one leaf, receive one real banana. Naturally, the monkeys were initially skeptical about the leaf's actual purchasing power. However, basic mathematical logic soon convinced the population of this effortless shortcut. Harvesting bananas took sweating labor, but leaves were practically free for the taking. An aggressive wave of leaf-picking startups immediately erupted across the island. Everyone aimed to maximize their personal net worth by hoarding loose foliage. Productive farming halted. The entire labor force shifted to mining leaf currency. Overnight, the nominal GDP of the island artificially bloated to astronomical heights. Our main character stepped into the market, confidently carrying himself like a millionaire. He handed over a leaf, executing his first purchase with unbacked paper money. Transaction complete. The merchant stored the leaf, fully trusting the newly established system. It felt miraculous. Perceived wealth skyrocketed without requiring any extra physical output. The entire economy basked in the temporary illusion of an endless financial surplus. Phase 3. The inflation crisis arrives, but there was a foundational economic law that the monkeys completely overlooked. When the total money supply expands exponentially, the macro consequences are inevitable. An unmanageable flood of leaves saturated the market, stripping away all monetary scarcity. The currency reached absolute saturation, effectively turning liquid cash into literal trash. Meanwhile, the supply of tangible goods, the actual banana output, began to plummet. The monkey offered a single leaf as before, but the merchant flatly refused. Apologies, cash is everywhere now. A single banana now costs 5 leaves. Total shock. The purchasing power of his savings had just evaporated by 80%. Desperate for sustenance, he accepted the price hike and emptied his pockets. But this was merely the opening act of a devastating hyperinflationary spiral. By next morning, a brutal new baseline arrived. One banana now demanded 50 leaves. He now needed an entire wheelbarrow of cash just to secure a snack. He dumped a mountain of leaves onto the counter for one tiny banana. Back home, he opened his cabinet only to find useless leaves and no food. Money was everywhere, but it had completely lost its purchasing power and value. Fruit stalls began shutting down completely because real goods had vanished entirely. The crisis hit. The monkeys were rich in paper, but starving in reality. The system locked up, plunging the island into severe systemic stagflation. Welcome to inflation, the invisible thief that silently confiscates the fruits of honest labor. From his executive office, the chief finally witnessed the catastrophic reality of overprinting. Phase 4. the solution, and balance. The chief's fatal mistake was confusing the volume of money with actual wealth. He realized money is nothing without public trust and real-world productive backing. Slamming his gavel, he enacted an emergency structural adjustment program to survive. Addressing the depleted crowd, he announced, "We must drastically tighten monetary policy." The first step to cooling inflation required aggressively draining excess market liquidity. The community mobilized, systematically sweeping the redundant, unbacked currency out of circulation. A massive bonfire was ignited, burning millions of worthless units of fiat trash. The overwhelming mountain of artificial capital shrank back down to an optimized baseline. Next, the chief introduced strict institutional security, a unique central bank seal. He firmly pressed the golden stamp onto a very limited number of leaves. Only these officially stamped leaves held legal status as validated reserve currency. This newly reformed money was distributed strictly proportional to actual banana output.
With arbitrary printing permanently banned, absolute financial scarcity was instantly restored. Market prices corrected immediately, stabilizing at a balanced rate of one stamped leaf. The marketplace thrived once again, and monkeys happily returned to productive labor. A scientifically sound ratio was re-established between circulating capital and tangible inventory. The Monkey Island proves currency only works when limited. Arbitrary printing guarantees collapse.